Canada has Indian diplomats' communications in bombshell murder probe. Sources: CBC News.
Here's a summary of the article.
That intelligence includes communications involving Indian officials themselves, including Indian diplomats present in Canada, say Canadian government sources. Canadian sources say that, when pressed behind closed doors, no Indian official has denied the bombshell allegation at the core of this case, that there is evidence to suggest Indian government involvement in the assassination of a Canadian citizen on Canadian soil. India accuses Canada of sheltering terrorists. The dispute has poisoned Canada's relationship with India, a growing international power, just as the United States is courting it as a potential ally. The Indian government has fumed at Canada for, in its view, sheltering Sikh separatists, including Nijjar, whom it called a terrorist. The growing feud already has resulted in the expulsion of diplomats from both Canada and India. Canada is weighing retaliation but has taken no decision yet, said government sources in Ottawa. One of the most senior officials in the U.S. government confirmed that the United States has been in frequent contact with Canada on this issue.
This post received a score of 13,000, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
The U.S. government has not confirmed or denied that it was the Five Eyes ally providing some of the signal's intelligence. One of the most senior officials in the U.S. government confirmed that the United States has been in frequent contact with Canada on this issue. The official, U.S. National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, revealed that the U.S. also has discussed the matter with the highest levels of the Indian government. There's not some special exemption you get for actions like this. Regardless of the country, we will stand up and defend our basic principles. He also aggressively pushed back on media reports suggesting that the U.S. had declined to defend Canada on the matter.
It was crazy seeing people try to drive a wedge between the US and Canada the past few days. I mentioned this earlier, but there's no two neighbors that have as a close a relationship. Over 200 years of no war between the two countries and a powerful friendship that has lasted through some crazy events.
It's in both countries' best interests to be friends. The countries trying to drive that wedge are not working in our favor and should be dealt with as such. IMO.
Culturally, Canada and the US feel virtually identical, if not very close. Canada feels like a safer version of the US with a different unit of measurement. I think that close bond between our people has basically tied us to the hip of each other as far as global politics is concerned.
As an American, when I'm backpacking, meeting people from Canada essentially feels like meeting someone from back home, especially because I'm from Michigan, 20 minutes away from the Canadian border. There's no other country that feels like that. Even Australia or the UK doesn't come close to feeling like that.
Grew up in the Sioux, Canadian side. Michiganders seem like us, but come with blue license plates lol. Oddly enough, Ontario has some blue ones now too.
I don't know if it's still a thing since I've had my passport for forever, but I remember growing up you didn't even need a passport to go to Canada if you were from Michigan. You just needed an enhanced license.
Back before 9/11, you didn't need a passport or enhanced plate driver's license to cross the border. That changed a few years after 9/11 when the USA required a passport or enhanced plate, enhanced driver's license to re-enter the country.
A passport was required to cross the US-Canada border starting in June 2009, though the wheels had been in motion for a few years, so it shouldn't have been a surprise to anyone by that point. IIRC, the rule change was part of a wider reform and also applied to Mexico and a lot of other travel that previously did not require passports to enter the US.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.